What's up, guys? It's Will here, back again, and I'm coming at you live from Mr. Kiko Collect's collection room in Nashville, Tennessee. And guys, Kiko is on a business call right now, so he couldn't join this video, but I needed to update you on some preview stuff, some Hot Toys information, some news, 1/6 scale collecting, all the important relevant info on this channel. That said, subscribe to the channel down below, click the notification bell for more updates, and click the like button if you enjoyed this content. That said, let's start with Mr. John Wick from John Wick Chapter 4, and we'll get into the news for different things that have been announced in the recent. That said, Mr. John Wick Chapter 4, you can see this is an updated head sculpt. This is Keanu Reeves from John Wick Chapter 4. By the way, if you've not seen the John Wick films, particularly John Wick 4, please go out and see them. They are amazing, amazingly made films. Totally fantastic in its choreography and its character development and its sort of atmospheric type of vibes. I think that are putting out with the underground assassin type of thing. It's really, really cool, and it makes for really great cinema. That said, guys, this head sculpt is updated. It is certainly better than the original head sculpt, albeit I still think not perfect. I would say that overall this head sculpt is like an 8. I think it's a solid head sculpt. The hair is pretty good. You know who this is supposed to be. It is certainly better than the original head sculpt. As you can see here, it does come with the movable eyes, so you can adjust Mr. Wick to put him into the pose and sort of the expression, I guess, that you would like. But overall, I think it's solid. I think, again, you got to expect a decline from prototype to final product, generally in the range of 5 to 10%, sometimes more depending upon the figure. But overall, I think this is a solid announcement, and I am excited to see where Hot Toys goes with this. However, I do think this could be the type of figure that you look at in like 5 years and you say, man, that looks kind of dated. I don't think it's as sort of innovative and future-proof as some of the other head sculpts that Hot Toys has made in recent times. I guess everything will look dated if you give it long enough. That said, I do think this one looks pretty good. And on the shelf, I do think it's going to be more than satisfactory. We always got to raise the concern, possibly the possibility that InArt could make this figure. We don't know. So for those who subscribe to the I'll wait for InArt strategy, you could totally do that. And maybe you'd be rolling the dice. Maybe it work out, maybe not. I do think I'm going to pick this one up just because it is a very good John Wick representation. And as of now, it's the best licensed one that you can obtain on the market. So I do think it's a pretty good figure. You can see this rifle does come with the special edition, and it is overall an amazingly tailored suit, just like last time, and a really good figure overall. I do think the paint apps are pretty solid, albeit not perfect. They make Keanu look a little more tan, I feel like, than he really is in real life, but still looks really, really cool. The detailed fabric suit, I think, is really dope. There's a lot of, you can see a highly detailed pattern fabric suit. So there is a lot of detail and a lot of cool accessories. I do think this one is a little bit lacking in accessories compared to the original. That could just be a simple matter of what he did in John Wick 4 compared to John Wick 2, where in John Wick 2, he was using more of an arsenal, and in John Wick 4, not as much, sort of a makeshift type of setup there. But I will say this still is pretty cool. He does have a bow and arrow, which is pretty great. You see the special edition exclusive comes with the rifle, which I think is really cool. And I'm going to share real quick, this is available on Sideshow. It will be available on Comic Concept soon when the pre-order goes live, and I will share that link with you guys at that time. You can see here's $270 for the special edition, $270 for the collector's edition. So of course, if you can get your hands on the special edition, I would do that. When it's up for pre-order on Comic Concepts, make sure to use my code WillFox. You get $10 off. And I think this is pretty cool. I mean, again, there's a lot of good detail in this figure and a lot of cool stuff. $270, I think, is a reasonable price nowadays. The prices we're seeing are starting to creep back up a little bit. Hot Toys was dropping them for a little bit. Now you can see they're starting to rise once again. But overall, I think this is a pretty solid figure. This is going to be one that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in because a lot of people are hungry for a John Wick. The original John Wick from John Wick Chapter 2 has gone up quite a bit on the aftermarket, and I think this one is probably going to be pretty desirable. That said, there is a companion piece, which I think is pretty exciting. They announced the Hot Toys Caine from John Wick Chapter 4, the Donnie Yen character representation, and I loved this character in the film. I thought Donnie Yen was absolutely amazing in this role. This could certainly be one that I'm going to pick up as well. I think it will be, just because I think these two are going to go really well together, like lamb and tuna fish. They are going to be fantastic on a shelf together. And again, they're sort of like, I don't know, like, I guess suave, like badass assassins. Like they all have suits, they're well dressed. Donnie Yen has a turtleneck going on here. The head sculpt is fantastic. Clearly, I think they took the turret head sculpt, maybe updated it a little bit, adjusted the hair, obviously, and a few things here and there. And then, of course, it looks fantastic. And he has glasses on. Glasses cover most of his face. So any sort of imperfections in the head sculpt in terms of likeness accuracy, I think can be sort of swept under the rug a little bit when you have glasses covering half of the face like that, or a third of the face, whatever you want to call it. But overall, this looks great. Suit is super well tailored. Head sculpt looks fantastic. Accessories are pretty good. then you got a decent amount to work with here. You got 3 different pistols, as you can see, 3 different ways to assemble a pistol, I guess you could say. You got the axe, you got, of course, it looks like a cell phone of some kind. You got, of course, the currency, a bunch of different hands, and of course, the display base. And yeah, I think this is a pretty cool figure as well. I think people are going to like this one. This is going to be one that people are going to want to pick up most likely. But you can see here the Caine is retailing for $260, so just $10 less than Mr. Wick. Again, this will be cheaper on Comic Concepts when it is put up for pre-order. So I'll message Josh and see if he can get that up for you guys sometime soon. But this Caine is really, really dope. And I do hope that people end up picking it up and supporting it because the film is amazing. And I'm excited to see what these type of figures can do on, for collectors and getting into collectors displays and on the free market, like how popular they end up being. I think John Wick 4 ended up doing pretty well at the box office, just like all the John Wick films. They've never been super high, like Marvel level earners, but I do think overall they perform pretty admirably, and people generally tend to love the 4 films. So I think this Caine will do pretty well. And again, maybe this one was a little bit more inexpensive to produce compared to John Wick himself, but I will say I'm really glad that they're making this. This will probably be the end of the line. I don't think they're going to do any other figures beyond this for John Wick Chapter 4. However, I am happy that we're getting these 2, and I'm pretty satisfied. I think this is a good announcement. I think both of these are solid figures. Caine probably being the better overall figure than John Wick, just in terms of lightness, accuracy, and overall detail. But John Wick is still really, really good. And I'm glad they updated the head sculpt and didn't half-ass it and give us the same old head sculpt. That would have sucked ass. And I'm glad they did not do that. So make sure to let me know your thoughts on these 2 in the comments below. But we are not done just yet because we have another figure to talk about, because there has been a release and we got to talk about this. So Hot Toys just recently announced on Facebook and other social media platforms, they have released the Grand Inquisitor from Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this is a figure I think that was fairly slept on, to be honest, because a lot of people really love this character, but a lot of people did not like the portrayal of this character in the Kenobi show. People didn't like the look of the character. People didn't like the inevitable fate of the character and what ended up happening with his quote-unquote arc for the show. So I would say overall, this is a figure that is very much going to slide under the radar. I think it looks really, really good, though, in terms of likeness to the character in the show and the portrayal. I think that overall, there's a lot of accuracy there. The head sculpt looks good. The tailoring looks good. This figure does have some presence on the shelf, I feel. I think this is going to be one that people are definitely going to want to consider for their collection, but I think ultimately pass on. Because I think at the end of the day, when you're thinking about whether this figure is going to be a necessity to your collection, an essential part of your collection, I think a lot of collectors are going to deem that answer to be no. I think a lot of collectors are going to say, he was okay, he was kind of cool in the show, I do like the character, but there's other priorities for me that I'm going to place higher on my collecting tiers compared to the Grand Inquisitor, which I think is going to fall by the wayside for most people. But I can't say that this figure is bad. It's a really well done figure. It's probably about as good as you could hope for in terms of commitment to a character that most people did not really feel that loyal to after the show ended. So overall, Hot Toys didn't half-ass this one from what I can tell. I think they put a lot of work into this one. I think that they, made it look really, really good. The lightsaber on the back is fantastic. The hologram of Vader, that's really cool. So there's a lot to work with here. And again, this will look cool on a shelf. It's just a matter of, do you care enough about this character to add it to your collection, to invest the money, to invest the $250 you need to? And that's going to be the question. And I know before someone comments, oh, he's waitlisted. Yeah, I think he's waitlisted because no one pre-ordered him. Sideshow very quickly gauged the market, saw the demand was low, and waitlisted him because they said, we're not going to overstock this dude and have it sit and have to discount it for forever. So there's not going to be another Lando Calrissian or another Iron Man Battle Damage 85 where they made 8 million of them, or Lando where they maybe overestimated the demand because he's an original trilogy character. You have this Grand Inquisitor, and I don't think this is going to be one that most collectors are going to feel the need to add. Maybe seeing at the promo picks, maybe some people will be like, okay, maybe I slept on it a little bit too much, I'm going to pick one up. But I'm going to think that most people are probably going to pass on this one. So guys, let me know in the comments below whether you plan to pick this boy up. I mean, overall, I think it's a good figure. I really like the double-bladed lightsaber for the Inquisitors. It's a cool design. The outfit has some cool, color schemes to it in terms of the black and the gray and the little bit of red on the belt and the chest piece. So I think overall, it's a nice design. Looks very villainous, very ominous, and, looks cool on a shelf. Very simplistic, but it totally works just fine. I think it looks great. So overall, for me, it's going to be an easy pass on this one, but I want to hear your comments in the comment section below. Guys, that's all for me for now. I'm enjoying Nashville, Tennessee. Maybe we'll post some videos, Kiko and I. But I had to update you guys, had to stay in touch. Check out any links I post on socials, will.foxification on Instagram, and of course on Facebook as well, WillFoxification. And of course on this channel in the community tab as well, polls and other updates and important stuff. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Lots of cool content coming your way in the near future. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Peace out. I'll see you later in the next one. Bye. Say bye. Bye.